Welcome to the Midweek F1 podcast. I am Nicola Hume, I'm your host, and I'm joined by a man who, like me, sweats under the Midweek F1 studio lights every Grand Prix, not just at Singapore race weekend. It's Ben Edwards.
Thank you. Yeah, warm, but nothing like as warm as it was in Singapore. You saw the drivers getting out of the cars. My goodness, much harder.
It looked clammy.
It really did.
I know a guy who went out there and he said it was literally just like walking out in a steam room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tough.
Horrible.
Tough.
On this show, this is where we have the last look at the race just gone and the first look at the race coming up. Now, if you have just joined, where on earth have you been? We've been doing this all season. Make sure you subscribe if you're watching on YouTube or wherever you're listening. Then click follow. Thank you very much. Your thoughts on Singapore?
Oh, well, it was very intriguing at times. I mean, it's a race where you don't always get loads of overtaking, but there was a lot to think about afterwards. We're going to have plenty to talk about. We're going to dive into all the stories of Singapore.
Yeah, we have a lot of things to talk about. There's a lot to cover, which means that it's only right that we pull the pin on our special guest from the get-go. So welcome to former Top Gear and Grand Tour writer, journalist, author and podcaster Richard Porter. That's a list of things, isn't it?
Hello. Yeah, that's it. The show's over now.
Yeah.
Padded my part.
It's a long list of things that you do, isn't it?
Yeah. It's amazing because I'm incredibly lazy as well, and yet it makes me sound like I do lots. I don't really. I'm like a cat.
We've had time to come here today, so we appreciate
I was just passing, and I thought, smells like they're discussing the Singapore Grand Prix in there. I better pop in and see what's up. And lo, it was you two.
Nice.
Well, Richard, it's going to be great to have you with us, and particularly when we get into the We Need to Talk About session, and it's going to be about street circuits and some questions about that. It'd be great to have your opinion.
Oh, then we also have our Midweek F1 Championship of the World.
Yes.
So we're going to reveal the results of last week's race and who scored well and who didn't. Producer Jim has his hand up because he scored pretty well. The rest of us, maybe not so much. We'll reveal all later on.
We will indeed, but we will be looking into what's going to be happening in Austin, and that's a great race as well. In America, they will be doing a sprint and main race, so lots can happen.
Well, anything can happen, right? So we've just had Singapore, and it was quite a dramatic race, although at some points you were like, it's getting a little bit on the boring side. But I think the main thing that we need to be discussing today is McLaren and the situation that they're in at the moment, because it's all a bit all over the place. And by the end of it, Oscar was not a happy boy. He was not a happy boy.
Is this right that he did not join the rest of the team on the podium to celebrate them getting the Constructors' title for this year?
He was in the media pen.
Right. Now, that to me, I think, is a deliberate, not a flex so much as just as a statement, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's going, I don't care. I'm a maverick now.
Yeah.
I'm on my own. I'm a lone wolf. I'm going to behave the way I want to. And it's sending a signal to Norris. Watch out, sunshine. I'm a loose cannon.
We're going to get into this in even more detail, aren't we, soon? Because I know Jim, our producer, is going to be asking us some serious
in a minute,
questions.
Jim.
But I just wanted to talk about a bit of the outline of the whole race, because, we've got plenty to talk about up front. But there were some really interesting aspects further back. For example, Carlos Sainz managing to get into 10th place from the back of the grid. That really surprised me at a place like Singapore, where we know overtaking's tough, and we saw it for lap after lap, how difficult it can be to get past. But for him to move up, that was some clever strategy as much as anything by Williams. Fernando Alonso was in good form, and he got driver of the day. We heard a lot on the radio, didn't we, from Fernando.
What a guy.
That was quite intriguing. And he got past Hamilton in the end, even though he didn't get past him on the last lap, because Hamilton then got penalties for going off the track too much. What Ferrari were up to, that's something we're going to be looking into a little bit more later on. But there were some good drivers. Ollie Behrman, for example.
Yes.
He did another job scoring some points at a track that's so difficult. So there was plenty going on. But I know that there are some serious questions that we're going to be getting into.
Yeah, there's always serious questions. But before we move over to producer Jim, I just want to give a shout out to Max Verstappen, because he's back. I know he's now outscored McLaren. What's that, 3 races in a row now? What an absolute legend. Welcome back, Max. I wasn't on the last episode of Midweek F1, so I just felt like I just needed to just throw that out there. That I'm really happy that
Who
Max
does Max
is
Verstappen drive for, Nicola? I can't remember.
No idea.
Okay.
No, just some guy.
It's a soft drink of some sort. Tango, Team Tango.
Team Tango.
Yeah, they're good.
Right, come on then, producer Jim, what you got?
Okay, let's start with the big one at turn 3. Lando gets a good start and gets down the inside of Piastri, slips on the still damp track and makes contact with both Max and Oscar, but gets away with it. Was Lando too aggressive and lucky, or is this exactly what he needs to be doing more of? Discuss.
It's a good question. And of course, it's the big question. And so many people have had comments and views on this and decided. I always find it fascinating because it's like so quick in real life. In the first corner of the race, you're just racing. You're going for it. And we know Lando actually has not always been very good getting off the grid and into turn ones. He's sometimes lost places in the past. He went for it this time, and because Oscar Piastri was actually initially thinking, could he get past Max? He was on the outside. It gave Lando a chance to go down the inside. And yes, there was then the incident, which was a bit scary. I thought it might go really wrong, but I believe it was a racing incident. They were both going for it. It was a slight error from Lando because he had to brake more than he thought with Max slow in front of him. Contact was made. I feel for Piastri because he had out-qualified him. He got past. But it's racing. That's what I feel. What do you think?
I mean, I know what you mean, Ben. It's like, obviously it is happening so quickly, and it is dangerous to sort of over-ascribe things to it that actually the human mind can't work that quickly. But actually racing drivers' minds can work very quickly.
Yes.
And I do have this slight suspicion that in that precise millisecond, Norris had two choices. Just open the wheel out a little bit just to avoid contact, or commit to the bit, not just because he needs to do that in the moment, because there are a whole pile of things on top of that moment of thought, which is he needs to show Piastri that he is not a pushover. The gloves are off now. This is it. It's a bust up to the end of the season, and he can't show weakness, and he can't show that he's the guy who gets out of the way. So in that split second, is there enough brain power in Lando Norris's handsome head to go, I'm going to show him? Because in a way, that's also quite stupid, because it could have ended really badly, right?
Yeah.
That could have taken them both out, in theory.
It could have done. No, it could have done.
But he got away with it, and that end plate gamely hung on for the whole race.
Did
which
well,
was
yeah,
quite
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, I mean, if he'd really smashed his front wing a bit harder, then he could have put himself out of the race. And but then Piastri, as you said, could have whacked into the wall and smacked the car. Who knows?
It's a tricky one, though, isn't it? Because I mean, he basically just kissed Max on the bum, is what he did. And then he was saying afterwards, when he was being interviewed, Lando was saying he wouldn't have hit Oscar if he hadn't have kissed Max on the bum. Is basically what happened. So he was like, "Oh, I hit that, which means I hit that." So he didn't hit Oscar on purpose. He wasn't aiming. That wasn't what he was aiming to do. It was just because he accidentally hit the back of Max, and then that was the knock-on effect. Was what Lando was saying. But if the tables were turned and this was Oscar bumping into Lando, I'm just wondering what the situation would have been, because they're in such a tricky situation, McLaren, at the moment, just allowing their drivers still to battle it out when they're so close to the end of the championship. And you do know that all it takes is a moment like that and they're both out. And then all it would have taken for even Max to have stayed P2 to then be so much closer to win that championship.
Yeah.
That McLaren need to make a decision. And they need to understand that what they're doing right now is so dangerous for both of their championships.
Yes. It's fascinating just from a sort of people management point of view. If you are Zach Brown or whoever is sort of at the pointy end of having to sit them down and go, just lads, come on, seriously. Because what do you say to them? They clearly aren't giving team orders saying, no, we've decided that actually Oscar's going to win it this year. You'll have your time, Lando, don't worry, because he's going to go, no, I want my time to be now.
Yeah.
I want it now. I want a championship. So you are actually sort of having to manage an ongoing refinery fire of two personalities who, they're racing drivers, they want to win.
Yeah, exactly.
They want to win the season, not just the race.
I think
what it's all
Oscar's got a
about.
right to be annoyed at that, though.
I understand Oscar being
get
upset,
it.
but they're racing. And it was, for me, it was just going racing. And he lost out. He'll find ways to come back. Let's see.
Okay.
Jim.
Producer Jim.
Okay, Oscar Piastri appears to be fuming on the radio about the Lando Turn 3 move, even suggesting that the team should give him third place back. Have McLaren management made a rod for their own back by meddling too much in past races? Discuss.
Well, can I throw out a curveball and say, this is going to be such a bold statement. Was Oscar's slow pit stop done on purpose? To make it fair?
No.
Ooh,
No.
let's discuss that.
No. Oh, I've dropped the thing. Oh, gosh. So what's this?
Oh, but now it's fair, guys. It's fair.
I don't think so. Because that could backfire so horribly in so many ways.
Yeah.
Like, apart from what you do, call one of the mechanics in before the race and go, now you, that when he comes in, okay, pretend you can't remember your left from right all of a sudden.
Yeah, no,
Trip over.
Yeah.
Here, look, watch some Lee Evans videos. Like, I want you to be physically like him. I want you to go, I can be very sweaty because it's Singapore, but also I want you to sort of be all fingers and thumbs and make a mess of it. It's just, that's too risky. What I do think is interesting about this now, having to manage it, as we were sort of saying before, is I think meddling is the right word, Jim, because it is that sort of, they've interfered, but they haven't laid down the law. And you sort of feel that in times gone by, perhaps if Ron Dennis was still running McLaren, he ran a tight ship. Or if we were talking about peak era Williams with Frank Williams and Patrick Head, I mean, dear God, Patrick Head would have just gone, you're coming second this year. That's it.
Yeah.
If there was a point at which he felt it was jeopardising everything to allow them to race and actually, stalking horse Verstappen could come through, you just go, no, if I need to lay down the law, that's what's going to happen here. And now I think McLaren are probably managing in a little bit more of a touchy-feely way, or so it would appear, trying to be nice, trying to be fair. But it is unfortunately leading to this sense that they could both just crash into each other and then no one's the winner.
Yeah, I mean, Ben, be honest here. If you were in charge of McLaren right now, what would you be doing?
Well, I think the fact that they've won the Constructors' Championship now, which they managed to do at the weekend, and maybe they wouldn't if they both crashed out, but they've won the Constructors' Championship, and it does feel to me that it's time for them to say, right, up to you guys, get on with it, and you are racing against each other. Because they've won the Constructors. That's the big thing for them. They've got the money from winning the Constructors. It's a big deal for them. And now it's up to the drivers, basically, to sort out what they're doing. But I don't think they will do that quite as simply because they've kept these rules going a little bit. I think there will still be a bit of a pattern of it. We shall see. But there's no doubt that Monza race, when Piastri had to give back that place to Lando Norris, because Lando had a slow pit stop, and had been in front of him, but came out behind him, and they asked him to let him through, and he did. I just feel that Piastri, understandably, is feeling right now, this is not fair on me now. This is not fair. And in a way, it would be good for the team to just say, look, you guys, it's up to you now. We've won the Constructors. You've both done a decent job. You didn't take each other off in Singapore. Try not to crash into each other. Let's see. We've seen so many big rivals in teams before. Mark Webber against Sebastian Vettel in the Red Bull days, in the earlier Red Bull days. And Sebastian did a couple of things on Mark that really upset Mark Webber. And of course, Mark Webber is manager of Oscar Piastri. So there's no doubt that Piastri is going to be getting some really useful information out of Mark Webber, I think. And it's going to be fascinating to see this latter part of the season and how it all works out.
I did see a very funny social media post of the difference between Lando's and Oscar's breakfast.
Okay.
It's literally a slice of toast, but Lando's is the nice teddy bear shaped cut out middle of the bread, and Oscar gets the crust.
I don't know. The only thing is, try this on for size. McLaren say, all right, you two, go for it. We're not going to tell you anything, but breakages will be paid for. And see if that sharpens their minds a little bit.
I like that.
Yeah.
Because carbon fibre ain't cheap.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I agree with that. If they crash a lot, it's
coming out your wages,
it's
son.
very expensive, yeah.
I like that.
Just a thought.
Yeah.
You can have that one, Zach.
Producer Jim.
Okay. George Russell executes an almost perfect race weekend and takes his second win of the season. A, what a performance. And B, could he be a factor in the coming races with the Drivers' Championship taking points off the top three? Discuss.
Yeah, he got a lap record, didn't he, for qualifying?
He did.
Yeah.
No, it was a really impressive qualifying, particularly when he struggled on Friday, didn't he? And that he came through. And he's been so realistic this weekend at Singapore. The way he's been explaining things, I thought fantastic, because he knew on Friday it hadn't gone well. We've seen him crash out at a key time in the past in Singapore in the race as well. And yet he just dealt with everything so well. And the way he got it together in Q3, that brilliant lap to take pole. And then he was very straight in, after the race, he took the win, but he did a great job getting away from Max. Yes, he knows that the McLarens were potentially quicker, but they never got past Max. And so therefore, he was able to take the win. Great job by George.
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? Could George ruin what's going on for McLaren, which could then eventually aid Max?
Well, there's that bit, isn't there? I always think that George Russell will one day be world champion, but we'll almost not notice until he's done it.
Yeah.
Because he sort of quietly, politely gets on with the job.
Yeah.
Great driver,
Yeah.
He is.
but not a showy driver necessarily. He just sort of, when he can, he pulls it together, does a lovely job, keeps it all very just calm, under control. And I think Singapore showed that. Just cracked on, didn't he? Didn't make a fuss. I don't know, there weren't any Raji radio message or anything for him because he was sort of out the front just getting on with his own.
I mean, the cameras weren't even looking at him. He was
No,
so far
well, that's
ahead.
it. It was one of those, wasn't it? It was just
Yeah.
like, is he still here? Oh, he's won.
Oh, yeah,
good.
George. Forgot
Yeah,
about him, yeah.
George, what's his surname again? Oh, that guy. Yes, lovely lad.
That guy.
Lovely
Loves a
lad.
cardigan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he will be. Well, yes, he does. But that's the thing. But he'll be world champion one time, and we'll just go, who's leading the chat? Oh, he's already done it. Oh, that's lovely. Well done him. Well done him.
Gentle claps.
Yeah, no, I mean, I like George Russell an awful lot. I think he's great, but that's the thing. He's just sort of a sort of slightly different temperament and style, I think, to him.
Again, there was a picture of him on social media that was celebrating. It looked like that he was just sat there with just a plate full of sandwiches and a glass of water. It's like, that is such a George move. Like his big celebration would be like a bottle of J2O or something.
What's in here? Ooh, cheese. And that's it. He's just happy as anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you going to do now? I don't know. Might just go home and watch a couple of episodes of Hollyoaks. Go to
God,
bed.
he's such a Hollyoaks
Get an
guy.
early night.
Yeah. Producer Jim.
Right. Not a race full of overtaking, but two standout rookie overtakes. There was Behrman on Albon and Antonelli on Leclerc. Whose was the best for you? Discuss.
Well, I think Behrman was very good. What he did on Alex Albon was absolutely perfect in a way. You know, he just surprised Alex a little bit with the move that he made. That was lovely. Because Leclerc was starting to have braking problems when Antonelli came past him. Antonelli did very well. I mean, he did a good job all weekend in the end. Although he was faster than George. It's almost like, I wonder whether George was looking at some of the data on Friday and thinking, right, that's where Kimi's so quick. And then he just picked it up and went even quicker. But yeah, Kimi Antonelli, very, very impressive. But yeah, Leclerc had that braking problem. So I do think that was part of the case. So for me, it goes to Behrman.
I hadn't thought of it like that because I loved Antonelli's there was a sort of clinicalness to it. He just went, right, I'm going through here now.
Yeah, that was good.
But I suppose in the context of, mind you, as Hamilton proved later in the race, there's nothing faster than a car with no brakes.
Absolutely.
That's true.
And those Ferraris, well, is it because neither driver could afford to specify the optional carbon ceramics, just like on a Ferrari road car? You just go, no, I know it'll affect the resale, but just come on, 10 grand? No.
Just too expensive.
Now they're paying the price.
Yeah.
Neat.
For me, it was Behrman, and I think because it was everyone's reaction around it. Listening to all the commentators going, oh my God, that was beautiful. That was one of the best things I've ever seen. It was just the reaction from everyone all in that one moment, just watching that overtake.
Is it one of those
happen.
ones where you're
Stunning.
hoping the TV director is going to replay it like 10 times
Yeah.
for different angles,
Yeah.
different levels of slow-mo?
Yeah.
No, again, please. And again, please.
It was a masterclass. It was
very good.
beautiful. Yes. Producer Jim.
Honourable mention for Fernando Alonso, finishing 7th despite a slow pit stop. He may never get that deserved third Drivers' Championship, but he was radio message champion in Singapore.
Yes.
Which was your favourite? Discuss.
There should be a trophy for that, shouldn't there? Best radio message.
Well, he did get driver of the day, didn't he? So yeah.
I mean, never say never when it comes to a third championship. I think it's always possible, especially with Adrian Newey at the helm for next
Yeah.
season. Who
Yeah.
knows?
And Aston Martin next year could
Yeah.
be in very good form. So yeah.
Yeah. But as long as he promises to keep the swearing up.
Yeah.
Because I kind of like the fact that he just went into a crescendo of, so his well-deserved effing driver of the day trophy, as it's now called.
Do you think that was because of the heat? I mean, when I'm hot and sweaty, I get grumpy.
Yes, me too.
Yeah.
I'd rather be too cold than too hot.
Exactly, because you can add layers, but you can't remove.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you're wearing a race suit. You're in a hot car.
Yeah.
Do we know, by the way, was Alonso one of the drivers who went with the cooling suit or not?
Yeah, I'm not sure whether he was the one wearing it or not. I know Max Verstappen was a bit against the idea. George Russell a bit more for the idea. And it was the first time it had been sort of by FIA said, right, this is our rule. You didn't have to wear them, but then you had to put a little bit of extra weight on the cars for those that were wearing them. And it's something they're going to continue to discuss because some drivers are Max feels it doesn't help him as much as he would like it to in a way, so it's not worth it for him, but it is for others. And I think the FIA do feel, understandably and rightly, that when you're going to these really high temperature or high humidity, and it's not only Singapore, Qatar as well, the drivers can really go downwards unless they're kept a bit cool. So I think it's good that they're looking into it in a bit more detail.
But I was reading one of the drivers saying, I can't remember who, it was either Russell or it might have been Verstappen, giving the reasons why he didn't want to wear it, is that actually later in the race, as it's pumping the fluid round, the dry ice that keeps that fluid cool has expired.
Yeah.
And you've got warm fluid. You've effectively got a gilet of hot chocolate around you by the end. And it's like, well, that's counterintuitive or counterproductive.
Yeah.
You are in then a worse state than if you'd just done without it. I think it might have been Verstappen said that. So I'm wondering as well whether those drivers who did have the suits on, by the end of the race, they're actually in discomfort, and hence Alonso is a bit stroppy because he's just like, oh, I've got this body warmer of soup on me. It's disgusting. Get it off. Oh, it's so warm. I don't know. I'm just speculating.
It's possible.
Who knows?
Producer Jim.
Okay, this one's for you. Life After Captain Christian Special Part 1.
Hit me.
Okay. Max Verstappen outscores the McLarens for the third race in a row at a track that shouldn't suit the Red Bull. Is this actually the most impressive result yet for Red Bull under new management? Discuss.
I'm very much looking forward to meeting Laurent. Actually, I've got an episode of Talking Ball booked in by the end of the month with me and Laurent. Very much looking forward to meeting him. I think he's wonderful. Every time I've seen him on camera, see him be interviewed, he seems so settled and so positive. And I do think he's making a nice positive energy around the team. Max is still yet to win Singapore at some point. Hopefully, maybe next season he might do it. But he was up there.
Yep.
Again, he's never had a pole position. But again, next season with new vibes and new things, he might be up there. It's feeling good.
It is. I think the changes they've made to the car are definitely very positive. And yes, it wasn't the fastest at Singapore. He held on brilliantly well. They did take a bit of a risk going onto those soft tyres early on. It didn't work for him at the start, and he had to manage it a bit. But nonetheless, I think that car's improved. As you say, Laurent's doing a good job as the team boss. So it's going to be an interesting one going forward, isn't it?
Do you think those changes that were made to the car, though, were very much or entirely Verstappen spec changes? Because if you look at what happened to Tsunoda, it's a bit like, oh, there's a big gap now between the two drivers, seemingly.
In Singapore there was, yes. Sometimes Tsunoda seems to have been much more confident with the car, actually, in recent races.
Yeah.
But Singapore did not really come together for him, did it? And being lapped by his teammate, that hurts.
Yeah.
Sorry, can I stop you there? I think I'm getting a call from Christian Horner asking if he can be my team principal. He's really putting in the work, isn't he? God, there's no one he won't ring.
Because he was like, is he going to go to Alpine? Yeah. Is he going to go to Haas? Who knows where he's going to go? Yeah, and apparently he's literally just
all had the calls,
yeah.
Hello, I've got a Mr. Horned on the phone. Sorry, Horner. Sorry, I misheard it. Yeah, can I put you through? No, they'll call you back. And
just take the money and run, babe. It's not like he's hard up.
I know.
He doesn't
go
need
horse riding
the work
again
right now.
with your Spice Girl wife and have a nice time. Zigga zigga.
Producer Jim.
Well, we've kind of covered it, but I'll have a go anyway. Life After Captain Christian Special Part 2. The flip side of Max's impressive result is that Yuki is lapped by Max. Could this be the exit door starting to open for Yuki Tsunoda? Discuss.
Is he going to keep it? Yeah.
Famously touchy-feely team Red Bull with allowing people just to stick around because they like them. Oh, no, wait, that's not what they do, is it? I don't know. Who would they plug back in there then? I assume they'd let him have the last...
That we'd finish the season, of course.
Yeah.
But would they?
Oh, would they?
Yes.
I think so. But for next year, that's the thing. Is he going to have a drive next year?
Well, they started the season with Liam Lawson. Yuki came in. They thought it would do better. He didn't do any better. There's clearly a tricky situation with the second car.
Yes.
So regardless of who you put in that seat, you might as well just ride it out with Yuki.
Is it
and then
almost
fresh start next year?
More, not cost effective, but time and results effective to try and find somebody who has the same setup preferences as Max Verstappen? Because it's clear the car is so geared around him and he has a very specific set of requirements. And this is apparently what makes other drivers struggle with it. But if you find somebody who likes that sort
That's
of
not
pointy.
easy, though. That's
No,
not
I guess
easy.
it's not, is it? Because
Max has such a style of his own in a way. He's such a talent.
His
It's very
baby's not old enough yet, I don't think.
and it's hard to read actually until you get a driver in your car to do some testing. And nowadays, of course, you can't do a huge amount. You can get them on a simulator and get a feel for what their style is, but very difficult to.
I wonder also if actually his preference is, and it's supposedly sort of quite extreme, but it's also presumably that his years of experience play into it. So if you're relatively new, just your understanding of the dynamics of a car is not years and years in the making.
No, but next year the cars are different. I mean, it does feel like Isaac Hadjar is going to be alongside him, and I think it would be actually ideal because he's done a good job as a rookie this year, but the cars will be slightly different next year anyway, and he will adapt being a youngster. Max will certainly adapt very quickly, but I think that could be a very interesting combination.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. Was that all the things, Producer Jim?
Social medias.
That was all of the above. Should we discuss social media? Can we give an honourable mention to Roscoe?
Oh, yeah.
Roscoe. I know this all happened last week, but we didn't have a race weekend. We didn't have an episode where we could discuss it. But yeah, I petted him once.
Did you?
At Silverstone. I followed him on Instagram. I was a big fan of the beautiful dog. He was
This is
good
Lewis
boy.
Hamilton's dog.
Oh yeah,
by the
sorry,
way.
Lewis Hamilton. If you don't know who Roscoe is, you can get in the bin. We can't be friends. He was a very good boy, and clearly he was an old boy as well and struggled with his breathing, and it was just so sad watching Lewis's journey of saying goodbye to him. But
I know, and because he was 12, wasn't he, Roscoe?
Yeah.
And my dog turned 13 this year, and it made me a bit like these bloody idiot creatures that get under our skin
do
so
you
much.
ever get right? This is going to be such a niche dog owner thing. Sometimes you just I look at my dogs and it's like I'm mourning the loss of them, even though they're right in front of my face. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to miss you so much. Please don't leave me. I love you.
My wife does that. She'll say, when the dog dies, and I'm like, she can hear you. She's like, this is the way that I'm coping with the fact that I know that the dog won't be with us forever. I have to talk about it. I'm like, well, I'm the opposite. Do not say the dog is going to die. She's immortal.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
But obviously, we know that's not true. So
Yeah, I
I know. I felt sorry for this.
Okay, and there ends midweek dog work.
Oh, sorry. Yes,
Midweek woof
the
one.
actual social media stuff I wanted to talk about was Oscar Piastri. Now, after the main podium for the race, they had the constructors' podium. Everyone went up. Everyone was celebrating. The whole of the McLaren team, minus Oscar. He was in the media pen. I've seen some clips, and he's basically just stood in the media pen with a screen behind him while they're all up celebrating, throwing champagne all over the place. But then also there was a clip on socials of Oscar muting Zach's radio message at the end of the race while Zach was going, well done, we've won the constructors, blah, 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 great job. And Oscar apparently, I don't know if this is confirmed, but that's what it does look like on the clip, that he's muted Zach. So Mama's mad.
That's awkward, isn't
Mama's
it?
mad.
Yeah. I didn't realise, I didn't see that of him, like the actual footage of him in the pen with the screen behind. Because, if you knew that everyone you work with is having a little jump around and a cheer,
The clip
be there,
was
wouldn't you? It's
Carlos
such
Sainz
a
was
statement,
being,
I think.
Carlos Sainz was being interviewed, and then Oscar's just kind of stood behind in the background, and then behind Oscar is the screen with
So he's
everyone
not even
celebrating.
talking to someone.
No.
So it wasn't like he was desperately trying to get away from Ted Kravitz or something.
No.
Which is nothing personal to Ted, who's a top man, but just what I mean is he's being interviewed and he's trying to be polite and go, it was great, yeah. But no, he was just sitting it out.
But I can sort of understand the emotion he was in. He was absolutely gutted. The gap is coming down. He is still leading the championship. I think by the next day, he would be absolutely on top of supporting what McLaren have done. It's just that moment, that when you've been racing, and as we've said, it's so hot there as well. And that does affect, I think, a little bit how they feel. And if it doesn't go well, as it didn't go well for him, although he did still score points and he's still leading, it didn't crash out. But I think it was just hurting to him. And it was just like he had to kind of shut himself down, do what he had to do in terms of interviews, which you have to do. That's media rules. And he just kind of shut himself down. And I understand that. But I bet you, and especially as the team was saying, we're going to have a nice long conversation with both drivers about what happened at that first corner. We'll talk about it. We'll discuss it. We'll move on. I think after he's had a night to think about it and a chance to chat to the team, he'll be just as supportive of the team, but he knows he wants to do it himself. It's going to be fascinating how this all goes.
I know. You could have a solid psychiatrist's analysis of all this, couldn't you, and the dynamics and things. And yeah, it's interesting.
We've got some things to really think about and talk about. And we had you here after the Miami Grand Prix.
Yes.
After an early race. And of course, the championship has gone on and on quite a lot since then. Yeah. Can we just get your general thoughts on how the 2025 season is going at the moment? What your thoughts are on it, pros and cons?
Well, I'd say that in general, there have been some decent races, haven't there? And I think that sort of as an overarching thing, we're now sort of moving, it's like a pyramid, isn't it? We're moving, of course it is every year, you're waiting to find out who's going to be driver's champion, but this is not a done deal, far from it. And because there are statistically 3 people in the running.
Yeah.
That's always good. And one of them is an outsider chance in Verstappen, which is fascinating because you go, well, statistically could happen.
Exactly.
And so we're sort of moving towards the apex of something that's been a long time coming, but it's good in terms of sort of narrative. It's like we've been moving forward, and you would have thought perhaps that Verstappen would have been ruled out, and the fact that he's still in the game, at least on paper, is really interesting. But then, as we've just been discussing, this sort of increasingly psychological battle and this political battle, if you like, internally with McLaren's 2 drivers, that's fascinating to watch. It's ever thus with F1, isn't it? That half of what holds our interest is off the track, in a way.
Yeah.
And the speculation and the thought of what's going on in that motorhome. Is there shouting? It's what holds that, when you have a race that doesn't have an awful lot of action in it, like Singapore was sort of a bit But what it represented generally, with things like at the end as well, with the Piastri and the pen and all that, is what makes you still sort of edge towards the front of the sofa a little bit.
I just love it.
Yeah.
I just love the drama.
And Max, I mean, the fact that he raced at Nürburgring as well.
Let's discuss.
Let's
discuss how great he is.
Yeah. I mean,
I still can't remember. Is it Lucasade he races for, Nicola? I can't remember, because you do some work for... Is it? Anyway, never mind. That Nürburgring thing is...
Yeah.
Because
winning GT3, around the Nürburgring.
Winning. I guess for people who don't know, he took part in a 4-hour race at the Nürburgring in a Ferrari as well, weirdly, driving a Ferrari, which is interesting in itself. But Red Bull branded up. That's who he drives for. I knew it.
Yeah, I thought so. We were close, yeah.
And he did that because there was a little bit of downtime. Now, what that says to me is a sort of bandwidth and a state of mind that is ultimately relaxed.
Yeah, I agree.
Able to sort of not have to go, oh God, I've got a free weekend. I've got to go and sit down with my engineer and do more analysis. No, I'm going to do something else entirely, but not like windsurfing or going to the cinema. It's something that's still his day job, just a slightly different discipline. It's almost like, it shows how much he loves racing, I suppose.
I agree.
But it also shows that perhaps that's it. To relax, he goes racing.
Yeah.
But then that also then leap forward and you go, well, that means that when he's in the car, that's his happy place.
Yeah.
And that's why he's still in with a shout in this championship.
Yes.
There's a point at which we went, well, it's all over for them, isn't it? No chance. Forget those people. But no, there he is. Softly, catchy championship.
Absolutely.
I mean, we do have to give a shout out to AntJ29 who sent us a message on Instagram. By the way, we are Midweek F1 if you want to follow us on all the things. He said, been saying this since 2 months back. Rule him out at your peril. He's currently in the zone, and even worse if he doesn't care. So that makes him more dangerous than ever. He's that relaxed. He can do a VLN racing weekend on his weekend off. If you are Norris, then that will make you even more scared. Well, I just want to say, I know you've been saying it for a couple of months, but I've been saying it for blooming ages. I love Max Verstappen. I think he's wonderful. And I think you cannot underestimate what he can achieve. When it comes to the World Championship, if anyone can do it right now, it's Max. Straight after the race, after Singapore, I was straight onto ChatGPT. I was like, right, what are the odds? What are the odds of Max actually winning? So what I've learnt is he can allow 2 more P2 finishes because we've got 6 races and 3 sprints left.
Yeah, okay.
So he can allow 2 more P2s. Oscar needs to be around P3 or less if there's a DNF, even better. But if he then wins everything else and then scores above Oscar in every sprint race, then it's Max's for the win.
It's certainly possible. I mean,
That's
it's not.
just fun.
It's
It's
not.
so exciting.
You know, I know it's more.
Don't
likely,
be negative.
No, I'm not. I think it's fun. I mean, I'm actually enjoying it. The fact that he's been so strong these last few races, and as I said, the car is looking good. I think it's a real. It could be a real rivalry, and Norris and Piastri have to be very aware of it.
Well, they could keep taking each other off at the
Yeah,
first corner in a
exactly,
sort
if
of
they do
Senna
that.
Prost style, and then Verstappen will
Then
just go,
suddenly,
"Oh no!" Another one for they Vimto F1 or whatever that team is. But the thing is that. Do you think, Ben, those are Verstappen tracks that we've got in the last 6 races, particularly?
The next one, yeah, and we'll be talking about Austin in a little while.
And Brazil.
Yeah, Brazil.
Oh.
Yeah, that was remarkable. I mean, he's done some remarkable things there.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to be in great shape. I mean, they're all very talented drivers, and so much of it comes down to making the car work on that weekend at that particular circuit. But I agree that I think he's going to be right up there. Whether it'll be as the car as consistently good again as McLaren is at some of these circuits we're going to, we'll have to see. But I've been impressed with what they've done with it.
Is there any sort of other championships that come to mind where it's been this exciting towards the end of a season?
Oh gosh,
Yeah, they have been.
and particularly
Definitely.
between teammates as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So I suppose how close to the wire did it go? Hamilton Rosberg was
Yeah, that was good. I mean, Rosberg played that
That's probably
well.
the freshest one, isn't it? I guess?
yes.
In many ways. But actually, the Alonso-Hamilton battle right in the beginning of Hamilton's career. And neither of them ended up winning and it was partly because of the rivalry between them. Kimi Räikkönen won the championship.
Yeah.
And you see, that's what Max is thinking. Oh, I remember that.
He was like 64 points behind or something, and then suddenly just smashed
Yeah.
the rest of the
It all
season.
came together. Yeah.
And another driver.
And
with
that was
just-
the McLaren team, but remember, that
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
the McLaren team that got
Yeah.
it wrong.
And then someone with incredible natural talent, but also sort of experience and chill temperament
Yeah.
slides in there and takes it.
Yeah.
So
Do you know what else is really nice? What I'm really enjoying as a Max fan
Mm-hmm.
is that non-Max fans are becoming Max fans.
it's, yes, a friend of mine messaged me just this morning and went, I'm kind of rooting for Verstappen. And I was like, but last year you were slagging him off and the team and what the hell is underdog? And it's just like,
Yeah.
suddenly, yeah, it's because it would be kind of interesting. And maybe also, have we, and I say we are sort of F1 fans generally,
Yeah.
initial period of warmth, the fact, oh, McLaren are back, they're really back now, yeah. And then actually there's sort of that sense of maybe 2 slightly spoilt children being indulged by mum and dad a bit too much. You can both have chocolate then. It's like we've run out of a certain amount of affection for Norris and Piastri, and so in fact Verstappen, who was Dick Dastardly for quite a while, is suddenly, oh, sweet underdog, yeah, go Max. It's a bit of an odd, I don't know, I'm speculating, I'm just saying I think
No, I
sometimes
think you're right.
all of us as F1 fans, we can be weirdly fickle. We sort
Yes.
of, and perverse, because we root for the person who's the outsider, even
Yeah.
though they've already got loads of championships. In a way, it seems only fair that someone else gets a go.
Number 5 be nice though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's what he says.
It's actually, it's interesting you're saying this. I mean, championships, of course, one of the great teams in Formula One is Ferrari, definitely not fighting for the championship this year. And we haven't talked much about them today. I did mention they had those brake problems in Singapore. But what are your thoughts on how it's been going for Ferrari, and particularly this first year for Lewis at Ferrari? It's been a complicated part, hasn't it, really?
Yeah, and I think last time I was on Midweek F1, I said that I felt maybe Hamilton was having some sort of buyer's remorse about the move. I was listening to Jason Plato on another podcast, and he was talking about Hamilton, and it's really interesting getting another racing driver's and a very successful racing driver's
indeed.
perspective on it. And when Plato was saying that he feels like he can see that Hamilton's sort of psychologically, he's maybe, I didn't use these words, but the implication was he's cracking a little bit. His shoulders have sagged. This has not been the sort of glorious, come on, we're gonna out the box, we're gonna nail this. He's got sucked into Ferrari land, which, as we know, is a profoundly disappointing amusement park. And I think
They've got one good ride.
they've got one good ride and it's often broken, or the brakes have gone and it just keeps going round and round and round with the same people on
Everything's
it.
really expensive.
Really expensive because it's all branded. It's because I know when you say, you know, the great F1 team, Ferrari, Ben, is, yeah, of course it's Ferrari, all the rest of it. But actually, I think we have to be more honest about Ferrari. They are a profoundly disappointing F1 team that is occasionally capable of good things.
Yeah.
It's interesting you say that, because this last weekend in Singapore, the way the cars went off, you think they've got so much experience, knowledge, engineering ability, and yet the brakes went off on both cars.
Yeah.
The heat, right from the beginning, the drivers were being told to calm down a bit. Everything's getting too hot. I know it's tough, but
It was interesting that it was both cars, because that kind of just proves to all of us that actually they're running something very similar to each other. There's no major competition in their different setups.
No.
There's obviously something very similar going on underneath both cars.
Was it cooling on the brakes? Was it the heat?
I think so, yeah. Fred Vasseur was quite apologetic almost afterwards. I saw him doing an interview, and he felt that they just hadn't dealt with it properly themselves. The drivers tried to cope, and there was not so much they could do. So I think there was a disappointment for the team. Mind you, we have seen Ferrari suddenly surprise us sometimes. And I still wonder, are we going to get that surprise this year?
It's funny, isn't it? I wouldn't say that I'm a sort of Ferrari fan per se, but there's always that feeling. You just go, I hope they pull this back.
Yeah.
You sort of want them to a bit,
Absolutely.
don't you?
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I don't want them to be always disappointing. And my feeling with Ferrari is they need to, and this has been going on for years, probably ever since Schumacher, Ross Brawn era, and those glory days. But even before that as well, it's an ongoing thing with Ferrari, and probably has been since the start of F1. They need to get over themselves and stop thinking that they deserve to win and they're the greatest team and F1 is entirely anchored around them. And if they got beyond that attitude, perhaps they'd do better.
Well, we shall see. We shall see.
Don't sit on the fence.
So good. So good.
Right, we need to get into our next session. We need to talk about, and often we've been talking about rookies. We've been talking about all sorts going on throughout the course of this year. But a slight change this time. We need to talk about street tracks, and we had that one at the weekend, of course, Singapore. And as you said, there wasn't a lot of overtaking, but there were some interesting moments. So it depends whether people like that race or not. Some would have found it a bit dull. Some would have enjoyed the dramas every now and then. We've got many more street circuits to play with now, and the way they've opened up some of the, especially in America, Miami, the Las Vegas street circuit as well. We've got some very fast street tracks. Sometimes that makes me a little bit anxious. Mind you, these cars are so much safer than they used to be. What are your thoughts on street circuits?
I mean, I suppose you can divide them into two, because there are the ones that are really, obviously Monaco, not much overtaking. Singapore, not much overtaking. But then Vegas is all right, isn't it? Because it's quite roomy.
Yeah.
I really like Baku because it's a bit weird.
Yes,
Yeah.
funnily enough, this year it wasn't a great race, but I've enjoyed Baku.
There have been some good ones there, so I
yeah.
think we'll allow Baku a pass. And where else? I suppose, Miami's all right, isn't it? But yeah, I suppose the greater number of street races in the calendar now is indicative of the fact that Formula One does not exist in a vacuum. Races don't exist in a vacuum of the actual on-track action. And in the Liberty era and the Drive to Survive era, we have to also think about the show. And I think from a point of view, if you are a team or a major sponsor, saying to your VIP guests, or if you're Liberty and you're going, Bono, would you like to come down to, and if you go, would you like to go to a sort of windy airfield in Northamptonshire? He'll be like, no, I'm busy. I can't do that. But if you say, would you like to go to Las Vegas?
Yeah.
Oh, well now, yeah, who else is going to be there? Oh, Naomi's going to be there, and Kate, and some of Coldplay, and Noel Edmonds, and he's like, I'm there. and it's so much sexier and more glamorous, and that is what they want. They have to have the whole package there. Getting people to cities, and particularly cities where they might want to go anywhere and have some fun, is part of the draw of keeping F1 as the pinnacle of motorsport, one of the most glamorous sports of all in the world. So it's part of the sort of sell of the whole F1 experience to have, and obviously that's not necessarily the same with Baku. It is definitely the case with Monaco. I mean, that's that's why it's the sort of lodestone of F1. It's because it is the glamour place, supposedly. And so that you can see that Miami and Vegas are definitely attempts to get a bit of that. And maybe Singapore as well for Southeast Asia. It's a hot spot. Get people there. Yeah. It's easy to get to. Great hotels. Have a lovely time. Walk back to your hotel after you've been in the hospitality. It's a package, isn't it? So, but it's not so great for us race fans when we go and there was no overtaking in Singapore. But that's okay because Chris Martin was able to be back in his suite in 5 minutes flat.
I think you've hit the nail on the head, though. I think you're absolutely right. Because we were out a couple of weeks ago out in France. We went out to the Magny-Cours circuit, which is in the arse end of nowhere.
Indeed.
It is. It's 3 hours outside of Paris. All of the hotels are absolute holes around the area. It's a beautiful track. It's a really cool place to go. They haven't raced F1 there for a really long time, and I can see why. And then you look at the street circuits and you go, well, the racing's a bit rubbish, but you can see how accessible and how sexy
Arnold
it
Schwarzenegger
is.
was on the grid walk and gave a really, TikTokable moment.
Yeah.
Talking to Martin Brundle or somebody, and it's all that. This is the bigger picture thing that Liberty obviously thinks about.
But the cars are too big. Like Monaco, I just get so bored of Monaco watching it. You watch it for the qualifying, you don't watch it for the race.
I was at Goodwood Festival of Speed over the summer, and they had various F1 teams, and lovely, I don't know if you saw this,
I did see
that sort of avenue of teams, and they
amazing.
Brought some old
It was
cars
on
down.
comms for the weekend, was our
Actually,
call.
not.
Well, I wondered if you ever got allowed out of the box. But if you saw those and you saw, even a 90s F1 car, remember when there was a period when the noses got longer in the early 90s, and at the time the cars seemed so galumphing and inelegant compared to those pretty little stubby late 80s cars. But now a 90s car looks so wee and delicate next to a current car. So, you're right, they really have got big, haven't they?
Yes, they have got big, and that has affected street tracks. You're absolutely right.
Slightly smaller next season, but
Tiny
literally
bit,
boop, the smallest amount.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see.
Who knows? Who knows? Right, shall we look ahead to the next one?
Yes, let's look ahead
COTA.
to the US Grand Prix in Austin. So this is the next one on the calendar, and of course it's going to be a very intriguing one because Max Verstappen has done very well here in the past, but the McLarens can be quick there too. There's no doubt about it, the way the cars are all set up. What do we think? What do we think in terms of what's going to happen there?
You could see the McLarens should do well, but then last year Ferrari did well.
You're right.
One too, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
So, I eat a small tray of words there for slagging them off earlier, but they might. It's a quick track, and if their brakes fail again, well, there'll be no stopping them, literally. But the thing about that race, and you've been part of the sort of, they always call the travelling circus of F1, haven't you, Ben? But
In the past, yeah.
that race in Austin always looks to me like it's sort of like F1 stag do. Everybody always seems to be just casually dropping in on the TV and radio coverage going, I went to an amazing bar last night. I went to a barbecue restaurant. We saw this such a funny thing. Went to a rodeo. And it's like, are you all on holiday or are you working? I can't tell.
I have to
It's
say,
both.
it's a lovely place to go. And I know for other people who work in Formula One, when I was travelling a lot over there, a lot of us really enjoyed that, going to Austin. It was part of the location and part of the track. It is a great place. I do like it. Yeah.
It seems like that's the American race that you want to go to. As much as Vegas looks sexy, they're racing so late at night that actually you don't really get to appreciate Vegas for what it is and go as crazy as you want to.
Vegas, isn't it? It's
It's Vegas, it's big tacky.
Yeah, but Austin, I've never been, but I've heard it's a nice town.
It is a good one.
Yeah,
it's a lovely place.
And it's the food. I just love the food,
Yes. Well, that's it. Yeah, just go and have some ribs and then go and listen to some country music or something. Yeah.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And also
the
there's some
racing.
racing. I do. Oh gosh. Well, I know we're going to do predictions in a minute, but it's and there's a sprint there, isn't there, as well? So
Yeah, there is.
Does that really affect anything? Except it's just they've got more work to do, I suppose. But
It does affect things. If Max can outscore Oscar on the sprints, it does affect. It affects a lot of things.
Your beautiful mind wall of stats, statistical
I've
probabilities.
I've got bored at home with pins and strings, just layering it all out to see how Max could possibly win this thing. So, right, let's do our midweek championship of the world. You know how this works. You've played it before.
I have.
So we need P1, P2, P3 and fastest lap. We know that doesn't exist, but we play it on this show because we can. So you got 6 points, 4 points, 2 points and a point for fastest lap. Let's have a little look back at last week. Can confirm myself, team guest and Ben scored nothing. all three of us. And producer Jim is sat there so smug in that corner with his 4 points for Max in P2.
Well done, Jim.
You're welcome.
So this is how the table stands so far. Ben, you are in fourth with 55. Team guest 57. P3.
What? Hang on. Team guest was leading last time I was here. Who's mucked this up?
Save the day. You can save the day. I'm in P2 with 60 and producer Jim P1 with 64 points.
Yeah.
still anyone's game.
Yeah, okay.
Over to you. This is just for the main race, not for the
gosh.
sprint. We don't include the
Feel
sprint.
the pressure now. All right, I'm gonna roll the dice. I'm gonna say, why not? Maximum Verstappen wins it. I'm gonna say Piastri second. And what the heck? For unspecified reasons, Norris is not third.
Oh.
No, I wish him no ill. I'm just saying this is how I think it's going to go down.
Yeah.
Because Charles Leclerc. If Ferrari can find it, pull it all back again, like they did last year, I'm going to say he'll be the third spot on the podium.
Fastest lap?
Piastri.
Okay, interesting.
Okay.
Benjamin.
Well, it is a tough one, but I'm used to scoring 0.
So I'm just going to say, I don't know. Antonelli
You have
wins
spent
all.
the majority of this championship on the bottom. I can't lie.
absolutely. Yeah.
You did hit the top at one point.
Yeah, I did.
Though.
Yeah, briefly.
Yeah, and then
very
you just
briefly,
ruined
yeah,
it again.
Yeah. I'm going to go for Piastri actually for the win. I just think I wonder. He's everything coming to him right now. Can he now deliver it as it matters to him? We'll see. But I'm going to put Piastri first. I'm going to put Max second. I am going to put Lando third. Fastest lap, I'm going to go for Leclerc.
Okay. Right, I'm going Max P1, and that's not because I've got a contract with him.
Yes, it is.
That's because Max will win. He will win. And P2 will be a George Russell.
Ooh.
Yeah, we all
Didn't
forgot
think
about
of
him. We all
Damn it.
forgot about him.
See, but we
didn't
always do forget
We
about George
forgot.
Russell.
Yeah.
It's like Eminem was once said. After that, you forgot about George.
So George Russell P2. And then P3 will be Lando. I don't know what's going to happen. There's going to be some sort of drama.
Yeah.
And Oscar's going to be fuming again, and it's all going to kick off.
Hold on a sec. What if, when Piastri was in that pen not celebrating the team, it's because he'd poisoned all the champagne?
Oh, juicy.
I mean, obviously, that'd be quite silly to poison all the engineers as well, but that's it. He's a lone wolf. He's going absolutely rogue. In America, there'll be no McLaren trucks, just Piastri in a car.
Yeah, but they've got enough time to recover.
No, it's a
You'd
slow
wanna do it
release.
just-
Slow release.
nice,
He didn't want to get splashed by any of the poisoned champagne flying around.
Of course. I like that.
That's just speculation.
It's just speculation.
Just speculation.
Who knows? If it actually happens, then they're coming after you
Well,
because
I'm
we've
going
got
to
it
look
on
pretty
video.
smug if that's the case next weekend.
Fastest lap, Max Verstappen. Thank you very much, producer Jen.
I'm going to go for Max for the win too.
That's
Yeah.
correct.
I
Yes.
think it
Wow.
will suit the car. I'm going to go Norris second for the good
Oh.
of the championship, and Piastri third, and a Russell fastest lap.
Okay.
Interesting.
It's going to be interesting, isn't it?
I just think George is just going to
I
keep
wish I'd
sneaking
said Russell
up.
in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Anyway, never mind.
He's going to keep sneaking in.
Yeah,
I
he
can
is,
just
yeah.
feel it. I
Yeah.
really can. Don't forget to put in your predictions, by the way. So if you want to put them in the comment section below, if you're watching on YouTube or any other sort of social clips, drop us a DM if you want on Instagram. We'll always have a little look and we'll give you a shout out if you get it right. Nice. Right. As is tradition on this show, we like to finish with a fun story or a fun little fact. So, Richard, what you got?
Well, I know we talk about the drivers a lot on this podcast and generally as fans, and we want to know things about them. What are they thinking? What are their strengths in the car? What are their psychological weaknesses? I don't think personally we talk enough about which supermarkets they shop in.
Right.
Because you can tell a lot about someone by where they buy their groceries.
Yeah.
And obviously it's quite hard to get that information. It's not usually in the press packs or anything like that. I once had the opportunity, though, to lead the vanguard on this level of journalism. Many, many years ago, I went to the Monaco Grand Prix, a very weird weekend for a number of reasons.
Right.
And I got to spend the whole weekend pretty much on a yacht with the pop band Liberty X. Like I said, it was a weird weekend.
Sounds amazing.
But because this was organised by Renault, they invited the Renault drivers of the time
Yeah.
onto the yacht to do a photo shoot with Liberty X. And then, as the only journalist there, they went, "You can interview the drivers." And I went, "But I don't need to interview the drivers. I've not been asked by anyone I write for to interview the drivers." And they went, "Well, you've got half an hour with the drivers."
Half an hour?
So that was Jarno Trulli. Remember Trulli?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he quite a long F1 career, didn't he? But
Yeah, he was good.
it was him and a young hotshot called Fernando Alonso.
Never heard of him.
No. Well, this would have been about 2006. And I had no questions prepared. I thought they've spent the whole weekend, I guess this was the Saturday, they've spent the last few days being asked about tyres and setup
Yeah.
and where they are in the championship and la-di-la. So, screw it. I'm just going to ask them where they go shopping. And I can exclusively reveal that Jarno Trulli's favourite supermarket is Waitrose.
Really?
Because in those days, Jarno Trulli did not live in Monte Carlo or Geneva or back home in Italy. He lived in Reading. And he would go down to Waitrose to buy some groceries to cook at home occasionally.
Nice,
He told me, yeah.
Lovely.
Alonso, unfortunately, could not confirm his favourite supermarket. However, he was being quite grumpy and just signing caps. And I said, Fernando, do you have a favourite supermarket? And he just went, shrugged, just made a noise. And Trulli seized upon this and went, he's just bought a microwave. And then Alonso suddenly head up and he was like, it's just for warming tortillas. And he got quite defensive at the idea that he might be accused of buying ready meals or something. Because if you come from a country like Spain or Italy that's known for its fine cuisine, my God, the thought that you just go down and get like some chicken chasseur from Tesco and bung it in a microwave, blah, your parents would disown you. So that I can confirm two things. Trulli shops in Waitrose, or did, when he had Renault money, and Alonso bought a microwave in 2006.
Lovely.
If you'd like to read the full story of my encounter with these drivers, you can in my new book.
Oh.
It's called
Do we give permission
Petrolhead.
to this?
He's a very good writer.
Available in all good bookstores.
Sorry, this is shameless, but I've got a. There you go. It's a collection of the columns that I've been writing for Evo magazine for the last 22 years.
Oh, great.
22 years.
Yeah, I just picked some of the ones that I thought had dated less than others, but the encounter with Trulli and Alonso at the Monaco Grand Prix is in there because it was quite a odd time.
I think that's great.
Trulli, though, I always had a lot of time for Trulli because he played along when he realised that this idiot journalist wasn't going to ask about tyres. It's like, this guy just wants to chat to me about what life's like in Reading.
Yeah.
I've got time. Why not? And then we just had a nice chat. But he was very funny, very charming. He went up to one of the women from Liberty X who was wearing a bikini for the photo shoot.
Of course.
And he went up to her and he just went, "You are very beautiful." And she giggled coquettishly.
You would though, yeah.
Would you? I don't know. I'd get slapped if I said that. But somehow the handsome racing driver gets away with it. Yes, I think the accent helps.
You go up and you're like, whoa, you're right.
You're very... There's a little roll on the R, I think, where you're very beautiful.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh my God, you're
just
smooth. Yeah, no, it was full. Oh, yeah, no.
If you were to put money on where Fernando shops, where would you put your money on? I feel like he's an Ocado delivery guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because, these racing drivers, it's all about saving time, isn't it? A few tenths here and there. He's not going to drive down to a retail park.
God, no.
Get them to come to him.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. Let us know your thoughts on where you think all of the drivers shop, which supermarket they're choosing.
Well, that's been great. Thank you so much. Great
Thank you for having me.
Show the book one more time. Go on, we'll let you do it.
It's called Petrolhead by me, Richard Porter, available on Amazon as an ebook or a paperback. Out on the 9th of October.
Lovely.
Well, thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, it's been great to have you with us.
And for bespoiling our podcast with your cheap plugging.
I liked it. It was very well done.
Yeah,
very,
very good.
Sorry.
So, join us in a couple of weeks. We're going to be looking forward to talking all about what's going on at Austin. And then, of course, we'll be looking forward to the next race, which will be the Mexico Grand Prix.
Mexico is always a good one for Max, isn't it? If you are watching on YouTube, by the way, click the bell button. Then you get notifications every time a new video goes live. So all the normal episodes and the bits in between as well. And give us a follow because it's polite, isn't it? We'll see you next time.